Okay, hi you guys, Katelyn again. Today we are going to talk about how to save your neck at the office. More times than not, people will come in to see me with neck pain or pain that might be traveling down their arms as a result of sitting too long. So the first thing that we want to try and do is set up our base, and that would be our pelvis. So we talk about pelvic tilt or anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. So an anterior pelvic tilt would be dumping forward. Posterior pelvic tilt would be dumping backwards. So as you can see, when I go into a posterior pelvic tilt, my upper body and neck actually round forward. And so that is typical of when we start to get neck pain. If I go into an anterior pelvic tilt, same idea, my head actually comes forward. So we actually need to find the middle of those two. So if I'm going to go ahead and try that, then the second piece is to get our thoracic spine set up. So we want to make sure that we're not dumped forward. We also want to make sure that we're not too open, because if we go too far into extension, then we just end up rounding and arching our lower back. So neutral, lumbar spine, get tall through your thoracic spine. And then when we look at setting up the neck, we want to make sure that we're long towards the ceiling, not hunched forward. So if we take a look at the spine and my neck at the same time, if I am rounding forward at the top, my neck is going to start to compress at those facet joints. And that can cause pinching of the nerves, causing pain going down into the arms, as well as all of the muscles along the side of our neck. They're going to start to get to be really, really tight. So we want to make sure that we can set up our lower back first. And a really great way to do that is using a lumbar roll, or you can just roll up a towel. So we can place that at the back of our chair. And oftentimes chairs will have a bit of a lumbar support anyways, but they're not good enough. And so with the lumbar roll, what we want to do is find the top of your hip bones, and where your thumb comes around the back, that's where we want to place that roll. So your hips are going to go all the way back to the chair. The lumbar roll is going to go here, and then you can sit back in a relaxed position. So now my ear is lined up with my shoulder, which is lined up with my hip. And that is an easy way that we can just adjust our spine so that we have those natural curves. If I were to take that out, I want you to see how I fall out of that position. So here is a good position. And here is without it. And so you can see that my neck is starting to jut forward, and that's going to ideally compress the joints in my spine. So the lumbar roll is a great way that we can help to keep a proper position through there.